Right now at 5, police arrest a driver after a high-speed chase through southwest Missouri.
I got another hot and muggy day, kind of like a broken record out there, but storm chances are increasing. Well, look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, a closed Carthage City Council session leads to the termination of a department director.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Well, good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Elise Snowe.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now Thursday. It's June the 26th, and we are almost done now with the first official week of summer, and it has certainly felt like it outside. It's been hot. It's been muggy. It's going to do it again today.
Right.
Next week's looking a little better, which is some good news. And we do have some rain chances building in as we head into the late evening hours and into our Friday and even Saturday. So we'll go over all of that with you. But first, let's get through Thursday, starting with that look outside downtown Pittsburgh. And there it is. Skies are clear this morning, looking good. Again, it's mild out there. That's the only problem is, getting the AC, just not getting much of a break because temperatures, as you just saw in our temperature bug down there, 78. It's still pretty toasty. MoDOT camera 28th and range line looks good. Good news is here, no changes for today. And I like that. I'm sure you all do as well. We don't have any tornado or hail risk areas highlighted, but we have seen a slight expansion of that isolated wind risk, mainly into southeastern Kansas out there. So maybe some strong winds, 50, 60 miles an hour with our storms later this evening and overnight. Between here and there, this is our first day where we're not looking at those pop-up storm chances into the afternoon. Got a couple of showers maybe in Greenwood County by about 4, and it won't be until about 8, 9 o'clock we start to see shower and thunderstorm chances increasing. Now, initially, they're going to be kind of focused in our western counties, and it'll take a while. You see, they start to die out a bit before we get a little more organized thunderstorm development that'll begin to roll across the rest of the area overnight tonight into our Friday. 74 in Joplin and Pittsburgh right now, and across the area, again, not bad, but still above average. We've got low, mid, and upper 70s, so just a very mild start. We got Monette, Cassville, though, both at 72, so that's not too terrible. But remember, we should be about 68, 69 degrees right now and for our lows, and that's not where we've been at all since summer began. Clear skies through the morning, about 80 by 9, upper 80s again by noon, and 90s for the high again today, so like a broken record. But no pop-up storm chances out there, at least not at this point. Partly cloudy skies through the afternoon. South winds picking back up again, gusting upwards of 25. So we've got our thunderstorm chances, again, gradually increasing from tonight into tomorrow. We'll have some scattered storms possible on Saturday. And as I mentioned, our temperatures next week showing some improvement. We'll go over all of those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, a late night shooting sends a Joplin man to the hospital. Around 10:30 last night, Joplin first responders were called to 14th and South Grand to reports of a shooting. When they arrived, they found a 28-year-old male with a gunshot wound to his chest. He was transported as a top priority to an area hospital. Now, as of right now, no arrests have been made, but police did have 2 people detained. Detectives did arrive on scene to begin their investigation, and police say there is no further threat to the public and everyone involved knows each other. Well, an update on yesterday's shooting death in McDonald County, Missouri. Authorities have now charged a man in the killing of his own brother. The suspect is 56-year-old Brian Hull. Authorities have booked him into the McDonald County Detention Center on charges of voluntary manslaughter and armed criminal action. They've identified Hull as the brother of the victim. The shooting happened around 8:30 yesterday morning on Canning Factory Road south of Anderson. Authorities say Hull told investigators he had gone to pick up his brother to take him to work, that the brother became upset and that a physical fight occurred. Investigators have not released many other details, but the sheriff says authorities are not seeking any additional suspects. You can look for updates on KOAMnewsnow.com. A man wanted on multiple felony warrants is now behind bars following a high-speed chase through southwest Missouri. The chase happened early Tuesday morning after Carthage police officers saw a car commit multiple lane violations. The vehicle sped off following an attempted traffic stop. Now, during the chase, the vehicle exceeded speeds of 100 miles per hour, nearly struck multiple vehicles, and drove through an active work zone. The chase extended from Carthage to Carterville. Spike strips ended the vehicle chase, and the driver was captured after a brief foot chase. The driver, Billy Osborne, is in the Jasper County Detention Center where he is facing 7 outstanding probation and parole violation warrants as well as new charges stemming from the chase. The Grand River Dam Authority charges an Afton, Oklahoma woman in connection to throwing a dog into the Grand Lake of the Cherokees while the dog was in a kennel. Kylie says the dog's owner said she believes the dog was, quote, at his end of his life stage. Estes also said she had had enough of the dog urinating in the house, tearing things up, and being territorial with other dogs. Now, according to court documents, Estes admitted to putting the dog in the kennel, taking him to the dock on Grand Lake, and throwing him in. Estes has been charged with felony cruelty to animals. And to be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. Well, a session of the Carthage City Council leads to the termination of a department director. At the conclusion of Tuesday night's closed session, the employment of Abby Allmendinger, the director of Parks and Recreation, was terminated effective immediately. The decision came from the recommendation of the mayor, David Brent Flanagan, and the unanimous consent of the council. Allmendinger took over the position of Parks and Rec direction back in December of 2022, where she oversaw the Parks Golf Course, Pool, Memorial Hall, and the Civil War Museum. You can find more details on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com, as they become available. The city of Girard names hometown officer Jesse Snyder as the new police chief amid staffing challenges. Snyder is a Girard native with 6 years of law enforcement experience. He steps into the role after former Chief Sierra Roberts resigned amid officer vacancies that left many residents concerned. Local businesses have said they've noticed a troubling increase in crime and the absence of police patrols. Now, to address these challenges, the city of Girard says it's hiring more officers and has implemented new pay scales along with detention pay incentives designed to encourage officers to stay and improve department staffing levels. And that's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes coming up on the KOAM Morning News. President Trump turns up heat as GOP holdouts face pressure to pass his sweeping agenda. Plus, the White House is set to hold talks with Iran after President Trump claims a major nuclear strike victory. And we have a hot and sunny day today. We'll have what to expect with Chris Warner in the Skywatch Weather Center. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, topping Nation Watch, President Trump is ramping up pressure on Republican holdouts to pass his sweeping agenda within days. Now, Trump had previously said he wanted the bill on his desk by July 4th. The Senate is planning a critical vote to begin debate as soon as today. However, both Senate Majority Leader John Thune and Speaker Mike Johnson are working to quell rebellions among their centrist and right-wing factions. Now, each chamber can only afford 3 Republican defections. Trump is also keeping pressure on Congress. In a social media post Tuesday, he said members should lock themselves in a room if they have to in order to get the deal done. Well, this morning, the White House is preparing for a meeting with Iran in the coming days. This after President Trump said he believes their war with Israel is finished following last weekend's strikes on Iranian nuclear facilities. Now, at the NATO summit in the Netherlands, President Trump doubled down on his claim that U.S. strikes obliterated Iran's main nuclear site, despite assessments from an initial report. The public and lawmakers could learn more about that today. Jared Hill has the details from New York.
President Donald Trump, back in Washington from the NATO summit, says his administration plans to meet with Iran next week.
They had a war, they fought, now they're going back to their world. I don't care if I have an agreement or not. The only thing we'd be asking for is what we were asking for before about we want no nuclear.
The president spent much of day 2 of the summit downplaying a preliminary assessment from the Defense Intelligence Agency that suggested U.S. strikes on 3 Iranian nuclear sites had only set their program back a few months.
We've collected additional intelligence. We've also spoken to people who have seen the site, and the site is obliterated.
In statements of their own, his CIA director and director of national intelligence claimed new intelligence that Iran's nuclear program has been severely damaged. Pentagon officials are expected to give a news conference today on the strikes, which the president says, quote, will prove both interesting and irrefutable. Senators will receive a classified briefing.
I want to know the truth, and I hope we can get it this week.
But there are reports the administration could limit how much classified information they receive.
We certainly don't want people who are hostile to this government and are trying to undermine our national security having classified intelligence in their hands if they're not responsible with it.
A briefing for House members is set for Friday. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Yesterday, the White House press secretary told reporters she believes the leak of the initial assessment of the U.S. strikes on Iran was illegal. She says the FBI is investigating. Well, still to come, researchers are learning new information about the COVID vaccine's overall effectiveness. Plus, Chris returns with another look at your Thursday forecast. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. Well, the world's largest digital camera releases its first deep space pics. Plus, we get a glimpse at a new crash site on the moon. Patrick Cornell has the outer space imagery, and take a look at this.
The moon is sporting a new man-made blemish. You'll have to take a close look at this before and after photo to spot the newly created crater on the surface. In early June, Resilience, a lunar lander from Japanese company iSpace, likely suffered a hard landing while trying to touch down on the moon. NASA's Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter decided to check out the damage, snapping this pic from about 50 miles above the lunar landscape. The space agency says the image shows the accident kicked up regolith. Definition, please. Unconsolidated, residual, or transported material that overlies the solid rock on the Earth, moon, or a planet. Got it. In the side-by-side comparison, you can see just how much regolith was kicked up by the hard landing. The company involved is expected to take on more moon missions until it succeeds with a successful landing. If we venture deeper into the solar system, thousands of asteroids and millions of galaxies shine in the first images ever released from the largest digital camera ever constructed. The Vera C. Rubin Observatory sits on a mountain in Chile. Inside, a 6,600-pound, 3,200 megapixel camera the size of a small car, crafting some incredible imagery. And for its first act, astronomers are showcasing the Virgo cluster of galaxies, including 2 spiral galaxies and 3 merging galaxies. Plus, this composite pic made of 678 images detailing clouds of gas and dust in the Trifid and Lagoon nebulas. The team's mission is to create a time-lapse record of galaxies, asteroids, and other objects as they change over a 10-year period. And if we turn a camera back towards Earth, we get this spectacular view of an aurora sparkling over the skies of our planet. Astronaut Johnny Kim captured the out-of-this-world light display while on board the International Space Station. Kim writes it took about 45 minutes to record the stunningly serene space scene, and it sure is incredible to see. For Take a Look at This, I'm Patrick Cornell.
Absolutely incredible images. Let's head over now to Chris for a quick look at weather.
Yeah, we've got a pretty decent start today. Again, above normal temperatures, mild and mostly clear skies. We do have increasing storm chances tonight into Saturday. Go over those details when we come back. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5:20, almost 5:21 now on this Thursday morning. Diving into tomorrow's temperatures, take a look by noon tomorrow, looking a little better. We're now in the low to mid 80s instead of being in the upper 80s, but we're still looking to be on the hot side as we cruise back into the upper 80s for many of us to near 90. Now here's the deal though, temperatures may also be impacted by our rain chances as we roll into Friday and into Saturday. Saturday, it's still looking to be kind of hot, so a little bit on the muggy side, but we do start to see additional improvements. You can see low 80s by noon, but we eventually cruise back into the upper 80s to right around 90 degrees. And we'll go into our Sunday. We got another mild evening out there again. Just eventually we'll hopefully get a break for the air conditioners. But you can see for Sunday, we go right back into the upper 80s to near 90 degrees. So let's talk about our rain chances because that's what our focus is right now. Today, we'll start to go partly cloudy into the afternoon, couple of stray showers out west. Now, initially, we see isolated thunderstorm chances, again, mainly into our western counties. So let's go Chanute, Parsons, Veneta. Let's go west of that line. That's where we could see some of these scattered showers and storms. Some of them also could be strong to low-grade severe, with wind as the primary concern. You can see by 9 o'clock where those are. Now, those kind of die out, and by midnight, we start to see new development, still isolated to widely scattered storms, but those will redevelop and start pushing across the area. Now, initially, some of even those storms after midnight could still be strong, low-grade severe, but they'll begin to kind of weaken a bit. We should just be dealing with general thunderstorms, regular old thunderstorms, as we head through the morning hours on our Friday. So you can see by 8, stretching just southwest of Stockton, back toward Lamar, Joplin, Galena, Riverton, Pittsburgh, at least immediately south of, back toward Parsons and Chanute. These thunderstorms will continue to push off to the east through the morning. We'll get some new development now by about 10 a.m. to noon across northeastern Oklahoma. That activity also expected to push east. And as we head later into Friday evening, we'll still have a few isolated to scattered storms, but there's a bit of a pause in the activity until we get to Saturday. Now, Saturday, we spend most of the day dry, hot, muggy. And then eventually, late Saturday and the very early Sunday, that's where this cuts off, we'll see additional shower and thunderstorm chances. Could see some into the afternoon hours on our Saturday as well. Starting our day, once again, near 80 by 8 o'clock this morning, mid-80s by 11. So we'll start to see a few clouds out there. Partly cloudy, breezy today, highs about 90. Those south winds gusting upwards of 25. And those winds will continue to gust overnight, so still out of the south, but only pushing about 20. And again, once we get past 8, that's where we're going to gradually see the increase in shower and thunderstorm chances, still near 80 by 10, depending on whether or not you're getting the rain. And that's going to be the other thing, is these temperatures will vary based on who's getting rain and when. And we'll be back down low to mid 70s again tonight with some of those scattered storm chances. We'll have those scattered storm chances for our Friday as well. Back into the mid 80s, mid upper 80s, so a little better. Back to 90. Sunday, maybe even low mid 90s out there. No rain expected. Then we see those thunderstorm chances at the start of next week. So we'll start hot on Monday, and then temperatures falling back a little closer to average for Tuesday and Wednesday. We'll heat back up toward the weekend. Again, for the 4th of July, at this time, still looking at those isolated pop-up storm chances, but they fall in that 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. range. So if you're prepping for fireworks, you're going to be outside, you're grilling, whatever you may be doing on the 4th, just make sure you've got a dry spot to go to and a dry place to move the fireworks in case you get caught under one of those showers. So don't cancel your plans. Just have that dry spot ready to go. That's a quick check of your forecast. We're going to send it over to Elise now with Health Watch.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, heart disease is still the #1 cause of death in the U.S., but how people are dying from heart disease is changing. A study published by the American Heart Association found over the last 50 years, there's been a nearly 90% drop in heart attack deaths and a 66% decrease in heart disease deaths. Currently, most heart disease deaths are due to heart failure and arrhythmia. And we're learning more about the effectiveness of last year's COVID vaccine. A study published in JAMA found the 2023 to 2024 vaccine was nearly 50% effective at preventing critical illness and about 30% effective at preventing hospitalization. The COVID virus evolves year to year, which is why doctors recommend receiving the updated vaccine. And for people with a high body mass index, focusing on only losing weight may do more harm than good. A study published in the British Medical Journal says weight alone doesn't give an accurate picture of someone's health. Also, societal bias about weight can contribute to mental health issues, and unhealthy eating habits, diet, and exercise remain the most effective ways to achieve healthy weight loss. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. We'll be right back. Right now at 5:30, one organization hopes a donation will mean bright futures for some kids in Joplin.
And we've got a pretty decent start to the day. It's mild again. It's going to be hot and muggy again, but rain chances begin increasing later. Look at your forecast coming up.
Plus, more than 400 boats are on Grand Lake for the largest national high school fishing event in the world.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's a 5:29. I'm Elise Snowy.
And I'm Chris Warner. It is now officially Thursday, June the 26th. We've got one more day. Well, okay, technically we have 2 more days left in the week. One more work day left. 2 more regular days left here in the first. I'm going to stop that. I'm not even going to try. Let's take a look outside downtown Pittsburgh, shall we? I can't do days today. We do have a nice view, though. Great sunrise out there. A few clouds here and there, but otherwise pretty clear skies. Same from the MoDOT camera. 20th and range line as the sun starts to come up all on this Thursday morning. Now, we still have our chance for some strong storms late tonight, early tomorrow. Still no hail or tornado risk areas highlighted, which is good. We have seen a slight expansion of this isolated wind risk, mainly still into southeast Kansas. So we're talking winds 50, maybe 60 miles an hour with some of the stronger storms later tonight. So here's what we've got between here and there. Breezy. We'll have partly cloudy skies. A couple of stray showers will be possible. It won't be really until about after 7, 8 o'clock. We start to see those thunderstorm chances gradually increase. Now, initially, they kind of stay confined. You see how these start to fizzle out? They stay confined in our western counties here into southeast Kansas, parts of Oklahoma, but then we'll get new development late in the evening, or well, more so overnight, and that will start to spread across more of the region as we head into Friday morning. Sitting at 74 in Joplin right now, 73 in Pittsburgh, and temperatures around the area. We do have some spots that are a pinch cooler. We've got Monette, Cassville, both at 72. So we've got low, mid 70s, a couple of upper 70s out there, so still above average. Either way you look at it, it's still above normal temperatures. Highs today, again, only a couple of degrees above normal, about 80 by 9, clear skies. A few clouds by noon, upper 80s, highs today at about 90. Those partly cloudy skies heading into the evening with rain chances, thunderstorm chances increasing again after about 7, 8 o'clock. We'll have those south winds occasionally gusting to 25 miles an hour. Once those thunderstorms start to build in late tonight, we're going to see more of them as we head into our Friday and possibly into our Saturday. And we'll go over all those details with you here in just a few more minutes. Elise?
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, more than 400 boats are on Grand Lake for the high school fishing world final and national championship. Each team is trying to catch the 3 biggest bass. Teams come from around the nation and the world to compete for scholarships and other prizes. The Grove Chamber of Commerce estimates over 5,000 people are staying, eating, and shopping in Grove this week.
It's a bigger group of people because it's a student tournament, but they're also here for a longer period of time. So they're in Airbnbs and Verbos. They're in our hotels. They're in and out of our restaurant. Our family went out Sunday night and had dinner, and when we went to leave, there were 13 boats lined up, and they were or more than 13 boats, but 13 different states on the license plates. And I thought, you know what? Yeah, this is going to be really, really big for Grove.
The competition runs through Friday. And a Berry County summer camp for those with disabilities is celebrating its reopening after severe storms in April caused widespread damage. At Camp Barnabas, destruction was extensive with power poles and tree limbs pulled down across the property. Now, in some cases, entire trees crashed into cabins. The community rallied around the camp with more than 250 volunteers coming up to help clean up and make repairs. Now, campers fill the cabins excited for a summer of fun that was almost not possible.
The support that Camp Barnabas has through other organizations, people talk about it everywhere, coming from like Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. It was a really cool thing to see.
I can't even describe how that makes me feel. I definitely would say I have the best job in the world. People love Barnabas, they love the mission, they love our campers, and it's just an incredible feeling.
With camp up and running, campers of all backgrounds can enjoy a summer of fishing, canoeing, ziplining, and swimming. Harvest Bank presented a $12,000 check to Bright Futures Joplin through its 15th annual Million Meals campaign yesterday. The campaign, held each spring, raises funds to fight hunger across Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. Million Meals supports local food partners who meet rising demand, especially during summer months when children often lose access to school meals. Now, this year, the campaign raised more than $616,000, helping provide more than 3 million meals to those in need.
It's important for us to help serve the communities that serve us as well. So it is no fault of the kids that we're help supporting, and so in order to give back and help support them, I think is super amazing.
Well, since 2011, the initiative has collected more than $5 million and helped provide over 28 million meals. And the Boys and Girls Club of Southwest Missouri hosted Best Buy's Geek Squad Academy in Joplin. Now, it's a tech camp that teaches kids or junior agents the power of technology and how to use it. Junior agents switch through 5 classes learning things like digital music, stop motion photography, and 3D design. They're taught by volunteers from local Best Buy stores and Geek Squad agents over the course of 2 days.
See how focused and engaged they are in learning about the skills that it takes to make some of the content that they engage with every day. So we enjoy, like I said, taking the time out of our normal schedules and being able to bring that to the students.
Activities in each class give junior agents hands-on experience. This is the 4th time the Boys and Girls Club has hosted the Geek Squad Academy. And after weeks of heavy rain followed by warm temperatures, mosquito breeding sites are on the rise across Joplin, and the city's health department is urging residents to take precautions. Crews have launched a mosquito fogging program to help control the growing population, but officials say residents can also help by staying indoors during peak mosquito hours, wearing long sleeves and pants, and using EPA-approved insect repellent.
The fog we use hasn't been evaluated to show any toxicity to people, but of course we want to minimize exposure to people anyway. It's just not a good practice to needlessly be exposed to pesticides. So our fog dissipates in about 10 to 15 minutes, so people should be good to enter those areas after that time.
The city fogs once a week between 4 and 6 a.m. as long as weather cooperates. Americans are taking a step back in time when it comes to how they listen to music. According to the Record Industry Association of America, vinyl sales have grown 10% over the past year, which is its 17th consecutive year to $1.4 billion. Locals from Dig It Record Barn expressed their excitement behind the music.
It'll last for several more years at the peak that it's at. It's not anywhere near what it was in the 70s, but it is exceeding CD sales.
And it's nostalgic. Like, I cannot listen to a piece of vinyl without remembering being a teenager, being an older child, and listening to vinyl.
According to the Record Industry Association of America, streaming continues to be the most popular way to get music. And that's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour on the KOAM Morning News. Crypto could soon help home buyers qualify for loans as federal agencies explore new guidelines. Plus, McDonald's launches a mini toy collection with a life-size twist. We'll take a look. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. We'll be right back. In Consumer Watch this morning, soon home buyers might be able to use cryptocurrency to help them qualify for home loans. The federal government has ordered Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to prepare for a proposal that would allow them to consider crypto as an asset for single-family home loan risk assessments. Now, if approved and finalized, the proposal could bring the U.S. one step closer to President Donald Trump's pledge to make the country the crypto capital of the world. Well, dating and networking app Bumble says it's slashing around 30% of its worldwide workforce, which amounts to around 240 employees. The company says the layoffs are expected to save $40 million as it moves to cut costs and refocus on growing its customer base. And McDonald's is now giving fans a chance to take a little piece of the restaurant home. Starting July 1st, the fast food giant will hand out many toys depicting iconic McDonald's products and scenes, like a mini Boo bucket or a tiny register with the purchase of a Happy Meal. The Little McDonald's collection has 21 mini toys in all, and on July 19th and 20th, customers in Los Angeles will get a chance to play in a life-size version of the Little McDonald's experience. That's a look at Consumer Watch this morning. Let's head over to Chris for a quick look at your forecast.
Oh, we've got an absolutely beautiful sunrise, as you can see from our camera there at 7th and Range Line. It is, of course, still more muggy, above normal out there, but we do have rain chances, and they begin increasing as we head late evening and into Friday, and maybe even lasting through Saturday. We're going to have a complete look at your forecast, break down those rain chances when the KOAM Morning News returns.
Well, here's a look at how much that annual 4th of July cookout will cost you in today's Ag Day Minute.
I'm Clinton Griffiths with today's Ag Day Minute. If you're getting ready to hold a big cookout for the 4th of July, don't look for price relief at the grocery store. That's according to the annual survey from the American Farm Bureau Federation. Now, it predicts an Independence Day cookout will cost an average of $70.92 for 10 guests this year. It averages out to $7.09 per person. That is down only 30 cents from last year's record high cost, but will be the second highest cost on record since Farm Bureau started the survey in 2013. A developing story we're following that could shake up the energy world. It's reported that Shell is in early talks to buy rival BP. The Wall Street Journal reporting on this. The report saying that talks between company representatives are active and BP is considering the approach carefully, but a deal is far from certain. Shares of BP jumped on Wall Street after word of the talks spread. And Georgia-grown peaches will soon be on their way to Mexico, marking the first time peaches have been exported to Mexico in 27 years. Now, it stopped importing them due to pest concerns that date back to 1994. Now, USDA has approved technology that uses an electronic beam to eliminate pests and pathogens without using chemicals or heat. Experts say it helps maintain the quality and shelf life of fresh peaches. For more Ag News, watch Ag Day weekdays on the station or get updates over at agweb.com.
Let's head over to Chris for a full look at the forecast.
Yeah, we've got another hot and muggy day again, but there's some good news at least. Things are going to begin to change for us a little bit. It's still summertime. It's still going to be hot, but it won't be as hot down the road. Of course, quick look. Downtown Pittsburgh looks great. We've got just a few clouds out there on this beautiful start to a Thursday morning. MoDOT camera 20th and Range Line looking pretty good as well as folks start to get their day underway on again what's going to be another hot one, so make sure the AC is working good. We're going to be in the low 80s by noon today, and then eventually we'll heat back up right around 90 degrees. Temperatures for our Friday are slightly better, and that is going to be courtesy of rain chances. So that's the thing, though. Our rain chances are going to impact who gets up near 90 and who doesn't as we go into Friday. By Saturday, though, we're all back up to about 90 degrees, and that trend will continue as we head into our Sunday as well. And we'll still be into the low 90s as we go through Sunday and Monday, and then we get a little brief break at least from some of the 90-degree temperatures for more of the region. The only reason some of us get the break over the next day or so is because of some rain chances, which we're going to discuss now. We're going to be partly cloudy as we head into the afternoon. We've got gusty south winds out there. Could get a few stray showers early, but the best chance for thunderstorm activity is going to come after about 8 o'clock into southeastern Kansas. So here we are at 9. So Fredonia, south of Yates Center, over toward Eureka, Howard, and Sedan, back into Washington County. Got some showers, got some thunderstorms. So some of these could be strong to low-grade severe. Now, initially, those storms don't last very long. You see, by midnight, we're back to just a few scattered showers. But after midnight, we get new developments. So around Fredonia again, southwest of Chanute, we get some thunderstorms starting to build back up. And we'll start to get more thunderstorms, scattered ones, continuing toward the early morning hours tomorrow. So 5 a.m. tomorrow, we've got a few more scattered storms out there. So we're talking now back just west of Girard, back toward Coffeyville, Independence, south of Fredonia. Still a strong storm or two possible, but as we get closer to sunrise, the strong or low-grade severe threat begins to kind of tone down, and then we're just looking at general thunderstorms. So by 8 tomorrow, we've got near Stockton, back toward Lamar, Joplin, parts of Cherokee County, back into Crawford County, back to the east of Chanute and around Parsons. We get more storms, maybe some around Bentonville. As you can see, they're scattered, and that's how they'll continue to be. By 10 a.m., bulk of the storm activity, at least for the time being, is now east into Missouri. Again, not expecting any severe weather, maybe an isolated strong storm, but really our severe threat, or even, again, the low-grade severe threat, really starts to wind down after sunrise. We'll still get more thunderstorms. Now we've got them up around Stockton, Lamar, Monette, Mount Vernon, Cassville, and new ones developing across northeastern Oklahoma. So we've got Newada, Veneta, Grove, Grand Lake. I know there's a lot of events going on Grand Lake. I know a lot of folks are going to be out. So between Stockton, Cassville, Grove, you just want to make sure you're paying close attention to the weather. Make sure you got a safe place to go, because again, while it's not severe weather we're worried about, still could get some gusty winds, some lightning and heavy rain. You want to be careful. Now by later in the day Friday, those kind of wind down. We're left with just a few scattered storms late Friday, and then there's questions on Saturday as to exactly what we're looking at. Now Future Track's not showing anything into the afternoon, but we are looking by late evening around 5 or 6. Maybe some new thunderstorm development out there, so we want to keep an eye on that as well. No severe weather expected with that, just more storms will be possible by late Saturday. Near 80 again by 8 o'clock this morning, mid-80s by 11, just a few clouds, and you can see how beautiful that sunrise is out there. Our highs today, again, about 90, south winds gusting to 25. Then, again, depending on who gets rain and wind, some of you might be a little cooler a little earlier, but otherwise most of us still near 80 by 10. Thunderstorm chances overnight, south winds still gusting to 20, and lows back in the low to mid-70s. We'll keep an eye on the storm chances for Saturday and see exactly what pans out here, but again, after maybe 4 or 5 o'clock, could get some more scattered storms. And that would be hot again for Sunday and Monday with more storm chances. We cool back a little Tuesday, Wednesday, back in the low to mid-90s heading into the holiday weekend. And again, maybe an isolated pop-up storm or two on the 4th. That's Check of Your Forecast. We're going to send it over now to Elise with sports.
All right, Chris, thanks. Well, we're deep into the off season for high school wrestling, but work put in during these summer months often make the difference between winning and losing during the school year. Yesterday was day one of the Black Diamond Wrestling Camp at Frontenac High School. Now, over 150 local wrestlers get the opportunity to learn from coaches with the Oklahoma State Cowboy Regional Training Center program. It was a 3-day camp which started in Chanute in 2010, then moved to Frontenac 3 years ago. Campers are split up into 2 age groups, and it's a rare opportunity to learn from the best of the best.
If they're here, that means they want to get better, right? They're dedicated to the sport, and that's how you get better, right? Coming to these camps and having these opportunities to have great minds come into the camps, and not just today but tomorrow and the next day there's going to be OSU coaches coming down and teaching what's literally going on in the OSU wrestling room right now.
If you pick up one little thing, it can change all this year in wrestling. So if I change my stance or I change my this attack, well, then my year can be impacted with it.
They bring a different perspective. Ultimately, they are wrestling at the top level in the United States. They got 3rd in the country last year, and we're bringing it to Southeast Kansas. And I think also it reinforces some of our values that high school coaches and junior high and club coaches are coaching.
Well, the Joplin Outlaws were at home once again last night. Tuesday afternoon, they came back from a 6-run deficit to force extra innings, but lost by a run. Outlaws hoping to bounce back from a loss. They face the Piney Woods Timberhawks. Bottom of the 1st inning, Andre Jackson gets things started with a base hit into right field. After he scores on an RBI ground out, there are 2 runners on for Finn Keota, and he crashes this pitch to deep left center and gone for a 2-run homer. Outlaws up 3-0, and we hear from him again. Pittsburgh State's Lucas Vanderduit starts on the mound for Joplin, and he gets a swinging strikeout to end the top of the 2nd. Now in the bottom of the frame, Kyola is back up, this time with the bases loaded, and he turns on one to deep right. That gets out as well for a grand slam. The Outlaws score 9 runs in the first 2 innings and don't look back. They win it. Final score 13-0. That's a look at sports. We'll be right back. Well, France is raising a glass and is yet again dominating the world of wine. France reigns supreme at the 2025 Decanter World Wine Awards. It picked up 3,200 medals in 14 Best in Show competitions. Champagne alone scored 27 honors. Italy and Spain were strong, each picking up more than 2,000 awards this year. Canada almost made the list with an ice wine that cost up to $250,000 a bottle. The Decanter Awards is considered to be the world's largest and most influential wine competition. And a life-size chocolate cow captivates visitors at a chocolate festival in southern Chile. The more than 1,000-pound cow was the star of the 3rd annual chocolate festival in Osorno. It was crafted by a group of professional sculptors, chocolatiers, and local culinary arts students. Liquid chocolate even flowed from the cow's udder. At the festival's finale, those who helped craft the cow broke it apart and auctioned off pieces to attendees.
That is an impressive cow. It's a lot of chocolate as well.
Yes.
And I've got a small child at home that probably could have eaten the whole thing in a matter of maybe 15 minutes. I tell you, kids, when they eat, it's impressive. He could also probably put Golden Corral out of business if we ever let him loose in there. I don't eat as much, which is good, and it's probably not good to have that much chocolate, but very cool chocolate cow. You don't want to put any chocolate or anything like that outside today. It's going to be hot and muggy again. It'll melt. Beautiful sunrise, though. Near 80 by 8, mid-80s by 11 o'clock. A few clouds out there, then we'll start to go partly cloudy again this afternoon. Highs, once again, right about 90, but our heat index values could approach 100 again. We'll have south winds gusting to 25. Thunderstorms start working into our western counties after about 7 or 8, and then we'll have more scattered storms after midnight for more of us, back down low to mid-70s. A few scattered storms throughout the day Friday, a break late Friday, and then we're keeping an eye on some afternoon storm chances as we head into Saturday. That's your check your forecast. We're back with more right after this.